Hi and welcome all to this morning session. Today we have the pleasure of having Dr. Shaista Nazir with us. She is an assistant professor in the Division of Soil Sciences at SCOST, Kashmir, located in Srinagar. She specializes in soil chemistry and fertility. Dr. Nazir has been involved in research related to soil health, nutrient management, and the impact of fertilization on crops. Specialized in her area of expertise in soil chemistry and fertility. She has been involved in research projects related to soil health, nutrient management, the impact of different fertilizers on crop yield and soil properties, soil contamination and remediation. She has participated in events like entrepreneurship awareness programs, where she has discussed topics like composting and sustainable waste management. She has a lot of publications, and her papers are cited in research related to soil sciences. Dr. Shaista, I hand it over to you. You can start with your deliberation. Please start.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for these kind words. I'm really obliged, and thank you so much for having me and allowing me, or giving me this opportunity to present some information related to soil health management for the sustainable horticulture and allied enterprises. Uh, Before starting the presentation, I'd like to discuss something about soil science. We all are, I think, from the agricultural background, but as far the soil is concerned, without any doubt, we all can say that in agriculture, soil is the mother of all sciences. Right from the horticulture, then we have the floriculture, we have the vegetable sciences, we have entomology, we have fodder science, we have any science you can discuss, and the answer can be always same, that science in soil science is the mother of all sciences, and it starts with the soil. Whether there is any kind of enterprise you are involved in, whether you are involved in the apple industry, you are involved in the livestock, you are involved in the fisheries, you are involved in the nursery management, everything starts with soil. So that is the most important thing, that we need to know the importance of soil. That is very important. So today's presentation is going to be about the soil health. As we all know, soil health, so if I just compare it with our health, health is wealth. So here also, when our soil health is okay, it is perfect, it is in the good range as far as the parameters are concerned, we say that any kind of enterprise, whether it is horticulture or it is floriculture or any other enterprise, or as I already discussed, they can be healthy. So moving forward, I'd like to give some concept regarding the soil health and soil quality. This kind of concept, most of the researchers or most of the scientists, or even myself also, we sometimes confuse the both terms, soil health and soil quality. But honestly speaking, they are not so apart, they are not poles apart, they can be interchangeably used. But when we talk precisely, soil health is related to the living portion of the soil. That means that we consider it as a finite renewable, non-renewable source. That means we consider it as the most precious thing, and we are concerned with it as a whole. So as far as soil health is concerned, soil quality is a part of soil health. Now, as far as the soil quality is concerned, we always describe or discuss the soil quality as the soil function, various soil parameters. We always enumerate different parameters, like you can see in the slide also. We have the tillage, we have the cover cropping, high biomass restoration, or organic matter, or water holding capacity. We discuss soil quality as the points itself, or as the function itself. But as far as the soil health is concerned, we are concerned with the soil in a most comprehensive way. That is tillage, or the livestock associated, or the roots associated, or the diversity which is associated. And frankly speaking, soil health is a so much broad term. I can easily say that we can give a full degree program to the students in soil health. Because अगर आप soil health को पढ़ने की कोशिश करेंगे, it is a very comprehensive, very broad term, very dynamic term. Because I always say this thing to my students also, and I discuss it among my fraternity also, that soil health is very dynamic. There are so many facets associated with soil. This is not just as we see soil in the field. It has so many things associated with. And to just comprehend that, I can say three things in main: the physical, chemical, and the biological facet that is concerned with the soil. So if we talk about the soil health or we talk about the soil quality, we have to, keep these three facets in mind, because these are the three facets that are directly governing the production and the productivity of our crops. Moving forward, now when we talk about soil health or we talk about the soil quality, there are some certain things which are associated with it. And the foremost thing is the assessment. Whenever we talk that soil health is not good, whenever we talk about our health, we say, let us go for a test, go for the blood test, go for some assessment of our condition so that the doctor may diagnose it. Similarly, in our case, we have certain ways of assessment that let us assess the soil health or the soil quality of my field. We have three main approaches. The first approach is the default approach, that is the farmer's approach. He is very smart. Let me tell you, we as scientists will not reach to the indigenous knowledge of farmers. He is very smart. Every farmer, she or he is very smart. He has certain methods because he is experienced or she is experienced. उन्होंने soil को as अपना एक बच्चा देखा होता है. They are known, the soil is known to them in every facet because they spend so much time with it. So his or her assessment may be soil color, the soil smell, or now the farmers are now really aware. In addition to this, also they may have other methods also. Now then, the scientific way, that is the statistical methods. With the help of statistics, we are able to comprehend certain methods, or we are able to design any method so that with the help of these models, or so that with the help of these methods, we can get certain idea about the soil health. For example, we can get the pH, EC, CEC, or other chemical parameters of the soil. And at the end of the day, with the help of statistical tools, statistical methods, now we have deep learning. AI is also there. That is also I'll say it's a complicated kind of a statistical model. But at the end, it gives us the measure, or it gives us a way so that we can assess the soil. Okay. Then there are the conventional methods. I have already worked in certain projects where we used to do the nutrient indexing of the soil. It is somewhat different, not so much different, or it is somewhat similar to the statistical methods where we use certain formulas, we use certain scores to see that whether our soil is healthy or it is having good quality, or simply, I'll say in simple language, where does my soil stand? Now, maybe before Green Revolution, soil health was never an issue. Maybe most of the researchers, most of the scientists would have never thought that we will come to a period, we'll come after decades long, we'll come to some point of our agricultural life where there will be serious issues related to soil. Now, honestly speaking, it was especially about the Green Revolution, after the Green Revolution, because you all know, we are quite familiar with the fact that all the important chemicals, they got introduced to our agriculture system in Green Revolution. Now, the chemicals, agrochemicals, I'll call them as a whole. It contains all pesticides, weedicides, because when there was introduction of hybrids in the Green Revolution, then there was also introduction of pesticides and weedicides, because the amount of food they used to produce or the amount of resistance they had, it was quite not comparable with what our indigenous varieties had. So with the advent, with the progress that we introduced so many chemicals into the soil contamination really got serious. जहां पे आपका maybe 1% chemical लगता था, वहां पे 100 folds of chemicals, especially urea, because that the subsidy case was with that. So farmers, they were quite they had quite to use excess chemicals to get the good amount of production, and crop intensification was there. But then with the advent of time, researchers were, it is quite actually selfish of us, because हमने soil को एक ऐसा resource लिया शायद वो ठीक हो जाएगी on its own, but with the advent of time अब ये हुआ कि the land degradation is a very important major problem. The soil erosion is a major problem. Wind erosion, soil salinity, and soil acidity is a major problem. And if we see our mountain ecosystem, that is, if I talk about my Kashmir or the temperate area of this lesser Himalayas, we are more fragile than any other area. And you'll say, ma'am, why we are fragile? Because the temperate ecosystem here is prone to so many climatic changes. You can see there are so vagaries in the climate. So that makes our agriculture system in these areas also very fragile. So if we discuss, the soil loss has increased. And with the soil loss, we know soil is full of nutrients. The upper layer is full of nutrients. It is also lost. Average soil loss has been seen in the last decade, 16.4. It has increased up to 16.4. And here also, if I talk about the mountain agroecosystem, the soil loss is obviously because of the topography, it is higher. Like in Kufara, it has a higher erosion loss as compared to the national erosion loss. That is the average national erosion losses there. Then there are the physical constraints, all type of pollutants and other things which can contribute to the soil loss. In addition to it, the major issue our soil in India is facing, that is the low organic matter. Maybe some of you might have seen that there was a report recently in the press that our 58% of soils or more, they are low in organic matter. Now, low organic matter, say it is a chemical parameter as far as the soil is concerned, but it is one of the parameter that speaks volumes about your soil. So if anybody asks you, ma'am, I don't have time to analyze my soil 100% with all the parameters, can I check one parameter with which can tell me about my soil health? I'll say organic matter, because organic matter, if the organic matter is good, your soil will be good in health. Now there can be some other issues associated also, I'll not discuss that, but prima facie, the organic carbon or the organic matter content is the one of the important parameters which can speak volumes about your soil health. Okay. Then with the advent of Green Revolution, we introduced only major nutrients, that is N, P, and K. And if I speak honestly, nitrogen was the main thing which was given. So that actually introduced the multi-nutrient deficiencies. So there were deficiencies as far as the secondary nutrients, calcium, magnesium, sulfur was concerned, and other deficiencies. Then there was low nutrient use efficiency, because as the crop grows under, getting only the major nutrients, the nutrient use efficiency gets decreasing. Because with the advent of introduction of various varieties, the whole program changed. Okay, how does it change? Because we were only, concentrating on the major crops. Then there was decline in the fertilizer response ratio. When there is less nutrient use efficiency, obviously the fertilizer ratio will decrease. That is quite evident with the graph also I have put in the slide, that how the yield has remained stagnant. The fertilizer application has increased, but the fertilizer response ratio has decreased. Now why does this fertilizer response ratio decreases? It has a lot of reasons behind it, and for that I may need to discuss that in separate presentation, because there are so many facets involved. But here I'll say only that because of the higher varieties, only the use of primary nutrients, the fertilizer response ratio has decreased. Then we have that crop residue burning. That is an issue in this area also. Last year also we had the stubble burning that causes the low IQ in the northern areas. That is a major issue related to the air pollution. That is actually, the source for that is our agriculture. Now, what are the major concerns which are, really concerns which should be, in the minds of the researchers as far as the soil is concerned? Firstly, we have to, assess, monitor land degradation. The first step for correcting anything that is not good for you is the diagnosis, is the monitoring. If you are not knowing what portion or what ratio of your soils are affected, you will not be able to plan any policy. You'll not be able to convince the government. You'll not be able to convince the policymakers that how do we approach it, because the data is very important. First, you should have the data that what percentage of my land in my state, in my area is degraded. So that is very important. Creating a database. Then improving the three facets of the soil health. Then managing the crop residues. The agriculture does not start with just sowing of seed and then getting the harvest. In my opinion, it is a whole complete cycle. The soil is there to be taken care of even when the crop is harvested. So we have to take care of the residues also and the residual effect also. Because of the agricultural activities, the percentage increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has increased, and that is, a major cause for the climate change. So our agriculture can play a very important role in this controlling of this climate change or mitigation of this climate change, because we can, fix the excess amount of soil carbon in the atmosphere. Then obviously we can improve the nutrient use efficiencies with help of precision agriculture and getting more trials done on different varieties of crops and other things. Obviously, the soil contamination has to be controlled, because every time the use of agrochemicals cannot help us, or it cannot help us in a longer run. That is why now the government is, really serious in promoting organic farming and promoting the natural farming. Now, as far as the soil scientists, or I'll not say soil scientist, as a soil student, there are so many challenges for us in India. Firstly, the major challenge is that we don't have adequate soil testing laboratories. In far-flung areas, whenever there was some plant camp or there was some interaction with farmers, most of the time I came to know that farmers are not, really aware of soil testing, because if the soil testing laboratories was easily accessible, or it was available to them in their village, in their block, then they would have come, they would have really aware of कि नहीं soil test भी करना है हमको. But the problem is we don't have adequate soil testing laboratories, whether they are static or they are mobile. Okay. Then the analyzing capacity, we have to increase the analyzing capacity. India is a huge country. The cultivable land is a huge mass of land. So if we really want to do serious soil testing, then the analyzing capacity has to be increased. Then the fertilizer control laboratories have to be increased, because the quality, quality checks of the fertilizers have to be done, because that will ultimately increase the fertilizer use efficiency of our farmers. Then the biofertilizer production, that's a different science. That is because we all know biofertilizer is a very important component of INM. And in addition to government being promoting natural farming and organic farming, the thrust is also to promote INM, integrated nutrient management, where there can be a combination of chemical and organic manures plus biofertilizers, and other things also are there, so that the load of soil, the loaded soil of जो हम करते हैं load chemicals से soil को, that can decrease, so that the degradation because of the excess use of fertilizers can decrease. Now, what are the priority areas to be addressed? Obviously, we know the technique or the advent or the sequence or the usage of the soil testing has to be increased. We can use new tools and techniques also, and we all know the latest tool as far as soil testing is concerned as the use of remote sensing and GIS in soil mapping. That is a kind of a new science that can give accurate results, and it can cover a whole lot of areas, like the name itself suggests, remote sensing. That means that we can get the information about the thing which we can remotely touch or we are not in concern with. Then the soil test based site specific balance integrated nutrient management, जैसे मैंने अभी discuss किया, INM is there. INM is a very important part of agriculture. Maybe most of the people talk about organic farming, organic certification, and the natural farming. But if we really discuss our main economic crops, like wheat is there, right? Rice is there, or maize is there. If we generally honestly say, maybe on a larger field, on a larger scale, organic and natural farming may not be so practical for the farmers. But INM is really a very practical science where farmers can get the benefit of both chemical as well as the organic fertilizers. Then the drip fertigation, for example, are most of the traditional apple trees here in Kashmir are getting replaced with high density apple trees. And in that case, drip irrigation is must. So that is also, and it has a very important thing associated with it, that is the water use efficiency, because we know water एक ऐसा जो हमारा non renewable source है कि वो आपको agriculture के लिए must है. तो उसके लिए अगर आप ड्रिप इरिगेशन की बात करेंगे तो वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी इज आल्सो देयर. Obviously the use of organic manure, our country has a huge resources as far as the livestock is concerned. So organic manures को use करना, फिर या उनको कंपोस्ट करना, या उनको बड़े वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग या अदर प्रोडक्ट्स में चेंज करना should be not an issue as far as India is concerned, because our livestock resources are huge. But the thing is awareness, the thing is proper usage. In addition to that, we have the green manuring, which can be green manuring as a whole or green leaf manuring also. Then there is the use of biofertilizers, that is the consortium of various microorganisms that can really help the nutrient use efficiency of the soils. And a very good point regarding biofertilizers is that it is cost effective, and it's a very important component of INM. Then we have the conservation agriculture and the precision farming, so that the nutrient use and the fertilizer use efficiency is increasing. Then we have the conservation and reclamation. That means that our cultivable land is shrinking day by day if we can compare it with the population, because the population is increasing but the cultivable land is decreasing in ratio. तो क्योंकि उसमें से भी बहुत सारा डिग्रेड हो रहा है, तो जो हमारे डिग्रेडेड लैंड्स हैं, जो हमारे affected lands है, that can that consists of the acid affected soils also, or salt affected soils also, they have to be reclaimed. No, that is there because आपका जो cultivable land है उसकी जो fertility है, because of the crop intensification, it will not be same, it will not behave as such, it will obviously it is overburdened. Then there is the bio-waste management. Bio-waste management means that the crop residues or other wastes which are produced in any kind of farm, how we can manage it. For example, we can convert it into compost, or we can convert it to other products, so that the management is such that maximum benefit can be taken from and maximum reclamation can be done to our soils. Now, जैसे मैंने अभी discuss किया, one such initiative from the government is the soil health card. Now, the farmer, which can be an apple growing farmer or the floriculture, जो भी allied enterprises horticulture में होंगे, या agriculture as such, this is a very important step, because a soil health card gives a direct idea to the farmer that where does my soil stand for. And it has both facets, whether my soil needs any correction or whether it does not need any correction. I am applying fertilizer out of my own routine. That is also there, because agar वैसा है, तो it obviously has an effect on the cost benefit ratio of the farmer's produce. Now, if I talk about the present scenario of soil health card implementation, as far as our cultivable land is concerned, and as far as the number of farmers we have, I don't think हमें 100% जो है इसको हमने cover किया है. Yes, some of the states are ahead, some of the states are not ahead. Some percentage has been only covered, and obviously there are so many agencies and so many policies which have been framed by the government so that the farmers can get maximum benefit from these soil health cards. And We all know this soil health card can be valid for at least 3 years. So every 3 years, the soil needs to be rechecked so that the soil health card is updated. Now, जैसे अभी I have already discussed it that what are the challenges as our scientists or the soil researchers. First is the soil testing, then is the class of entrepreneurs which can establish, we there are so many policies already working which have been introduced by the government, that how the young folks or the young generation can be included in these testing, soil testing laboratories. And for that, various subsidies are given, for various schemes are given, so that the people are also employed, and the main thing, that is the soil testing, can also be done. Now, coming to the other part of the presentation, that is the sustainability. Now, we all know what is a sustainability. Sustainability means that any kind of operation we are introducing, any kind of amendment we are introducing, or any kind of program as a agricultural expert we are introducing, how sustainable it is. Then, यानी कि with the advent of time, वो कितना अपने आप को sustain कर पाएगा और कितना हमारी soil को benefit कर पाएगा. Now, as far as the agriculture, there are mainly 7 agricultural, sustainable practices. First is the agroforestry. Now, I think this is the most, under-recorded जो हमारा एक practice है, that is the agroforestry. Because agroforestry एक ऐसा practice है जहाँ पे आपको maximum economic benefit मिलेगा, और उसका maximum जो फायदा मिलता है कि your soil remains covered, you get the maximum economic benefit. The soil microbial biodiversity gets increased, because at the same time you are introducing 2 groups of plants. One is from the forest family and other is from the agriculture family. The soil ultimately gets rich with the microbiome. Now, what is microbiome? Microbiome is the microbiological part of our soil, the biological part of our soil, and that is also very undiscussed part, because मैं हमेशा अपने students को बोलती हूँ कि microbes are the engine of the soil. They are the main drivers of the soil fertility, because they are the group of organisms which make the nutrient use efficiency more available. It makes it mineralizes the soil. The plant gets maximum benefit from whether you have applied the organic fertilizer or you have applied the chemical fertilizer. Okay. The second part is the crop rotation. Crop rotation, we all know, don't go for the crop intensification. Don't go for the same type of crop every season or every year. I, personally suggest this thing to every kind of entrepreneur or every kind of farmer. Now, he or she always asks, and as the question comes in our mind also, how does it help? It helps because if you are, growing same crop every season, every year, the soil microbial biodiversity gets constricted, because there are certain sets of microbes which are associated with the roots of crops. So when you are going for the same crop every year, the microbes are constricted. It does not, involve or evolve. Microbes associated to other crops don't evolve. Now, how does that also help? That helps because when all types of microbes are evolved, all types of nutrients will be available to the plants. Then is the organic farming, that we all know that's a very important policy as introduced by our government. That is, go for the organic farming. That means complete use of the organic based products, whether the farmer produces it at home or he buys it from the market, but complete organic farming. And then the government has also provided the certification and other programs as far as the organic farming is concerned, so that the produce gets, its name in the export market also. Then the recycle and compost waste materials, as I have already discussed, that to get the maximum benefit of the residues, so that the environmental pollution is also reduced and our soils are also enriched. Then integrated pest management methods. Like at the start of the presentation, I discussed that how the use of agrochemicals, how the excess use of pesticides have affected our ecological balance. Here also, The government is promoting that how to get the integrated pest management with the help of biological indicators or biological agents, so that the use of agrochemicals is decreased. Then very important, urban agriculture. With the advent of time, our rural areas are, slowly the urban sprawl is there, the urban expansion is there, but a correct policy should be there so that the green cover in our cities is increased when they expand into the urban areas. It is like we should not, completely get the green cover out and make the urban sprawl, make the concrete jungles. For example, recently I saw a report which clearly stated that Srinagar city is having very less green cover as compared to other cities in the country. So that should not be there. The social forestry has to be encouraged. The urban agriculture has to be encouraged. Now, in all these, to achieve sustainability, our goals obviously are that we need the human food. As we all know, we have a growing population. We need the a good amount of food in future also, and other associated things, feed, fodder, and other things. Then we have to take care of our environmental quality. जैसे मैंने पहले ही कहा, it was the green revolution that really imbalanced the ecological जो हमारा एक क्या बोलेंगे निश था बहुत सारी चीजों का. To make efficient use of non-renewable resources, we all know that, and then with the advent of these, with the introduction of these sustainable operations, or आप कह सकते हैं precision agriculture, the economic viability should also be there. And if we are able to introduce all these sustainable issues in our agriculture, obviously the benefits will be, first and foremost, that the soil health will be increased. Obviously, the soil quality parameters will be increased, and most importantly, the biodiversity that is associated with the microbes and macrobes, they are also conserved. And we all know that soil is a very important natural resource. We have to conserve it if we want food for the future generation. One of the important parameters in our sustainable, or the introduction of sustainability in agriculture, is the introduction of the nitrogen fixing agents. We all know there are so many nitrogen fixing agents. There can be legumes, blue-green algae, azotobacter, azospirillum. We all know what is the science behind them. But as far as the nitrogen fixing organisms are concerned, they are a very important part of INM. And here also, they are a very important part of sustainable agriculture as far as the agricultural crops are concerned, and also as far as the horticulture crops are concerned. Like some of the farmers, they go for the cultivation of beans along with the apple trees. That also helps in regeneration of the nitrogen in the soil. That's a very good practice. It helps as both. It is a cover crop also, reduces the weed growth also, and it also adds the nitrogen to the farms. And this can be also introduced in any kind of horticultural enterprise. Then second is one of the और एक component जो है, that is the crop rotation. जैसे उसका जो concept है behind कि हमें क्यों करनी चाहिए crop rotation, why we should go for the crop rotation. I have already discussed that, to increase the microbial biodiversity of the soil. Like, one of the major concerns our Kashmir is facing, that most of the paddy land is getting converted into horticulture land. In addition to the increase in the incidence of root rot, because the clay soils which are good for the paddy are not good for the apple crops, but farmers, they in a rush, or jo bhi aap kahein, they are converting it into horticulture crop. And when the horticulture crop ka jab aapka acreage बढ़ रहा है, तो microbial diversity as a whole gets decreased. And rice is our indigenous crop, is a stable crop as far as the Kashmir population is concerned. We also have to, see the economic part of also this thing. But farmers need to be aware. Farmers, the awareness as far as the conversion of crops is concerned has to be there. Then cover crops, we all know what are the important, I have already discussed them, ki kaise cover crops are a very important part of the sustainable agriculture. That is, they build the soil health. When they increase the microbes, they increase the diversity of the microbes, they increase the some of the nutrients like nitrogen is there. Also, if you introduce WAM, verbicular arbicular microhizzy, you introduce the PSBs that will increase the nutrient use efficiency and the components content of phosphorus also in the soil. Similarly, we have the Zn, zinc mobilizers are there, potassium mobilizers are there, so they can increase the soil health. Then there is a nutrient retention. Obviously, when there are crops which work in close association with these microbes, there will be more nutrient retention. यानी कि आपको हर बार maximum fertilizers नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे. With the जैसे जैसे time बीतता जाएगा, जो आपकी inherent capacity है soil की, आपकी जो fertility है soil की, वो आपको build हो जाएगी. So the cost benefit ratio will be also in favor of the farmer. Then erosion control is very important. When you go for the cover crops, you are covering the land, you are not keeping it bare. If there is excess erosion because of the rain, because of the other factors, the cover crops will hold the soil with the help of their roots. Grass bhi hoga, uska bhi ek impact hota hai, so the erosion will be controlled. The topmost fertile soil of the farm will not be depleted, or it will not be lost. Then the weed reduction, which I already told you. Then when there are no bare soils, the weeds are not they don't get dominant enough. Then there is the soil enrichment. Now soil enrichment is a part of organic farming or natural farming. यानी कि आप जो भी आपके nutrients हैं वो आपके residue से मिले हो, वो आपको compost से मिले हो, या आपका livestock है, जो भी चीज है, it can actually add to the soil. And when we added it to the soil, the overall chemistry, overall physics, and overall biology of the soil gets better. And the physiology and the crop and the yield, आपको overall जो है better performance मिल सकती है when you enrich the soil. That means that we don't expect soil to be fertile every time we grow, because from the last so many years आप soil को जो है आप deplete कर रहे हैं. Now it is a time to keep. Sometimes we also suggest farmers to go for fallow sometimes. Yeah, go for leaf manuring, go for green leaf manuring. That really helps. And integrated pest management, I have already discussed that how do we use the biological agents to reduce the agrochemicals. And for that we need the identification, and we need the identification from the known people, the researchers who are working in entomology or other things in association with the agrometallurgy also. Jaise this year we have a very serious issue of leaf miners in Kashmir, and most of the researchers are attributing it to the high temperatures we had in the middle of the June. So it has to be a collaborative work. Then we can propose some integrated pest management that can really help the crop to be healthy as a whole. So lastly, I'll conclude with the slide that sustainable agricultural perspective, yani ki how we can achieve the sustainable agriculture, is that we have to keep three things in mind. That is the environmental health, that are already discussed, that how the increased use of agrochemicals have caused the imbalance of our environmental ecology. Then economic profitability is also there, because the farmer works really hard day and night for getting the economic benefit. So that the economic part has to be, the benefit cost ratio has to be considered in proposing any kind of policy regarding the sustainable agriculture. And then the social and economic equity has to be there. The benefits which can be given to the society with the help of sustainable agriculture has to be such that we can get the social and the economic equity. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll be very happy if there are any questions associated.
Team, if you have any questions, please ask them right now. You can turn on the microphone and ask questions. Swapnil, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, Swapnil.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I'm Swapnil Shrivastava. I'm a PhD scholar in agriculture biotechnology.
Okay.
And I want to know your opinion on a thing.
Yeah.
In recent, nanotechnology is gaining a lot of attention in terms of nanofungicide, nanopesticides. How do you view it in the long term in respect to soil health?
you are from biotechnology, so you'll be mostly concerned with the you're talking about nano fertilizers or nano fungicides?
Ma'am, in general, like nanotechnology is gaining a lot of attention right now. So how does it affect the soil health in the long run? I just want to know your opinion on that.
Yeah, Swapnil, honestly speaking, the info regarding the nanotechnology has not been so good as far as the farmers are concerned. There are so many products which came into the market. They were ICR validated also, but the results were not so good as far as the nano fungicides are concerned, and or other nano agrochemicals are concerned. They can really help the farmers as a component of the IPM, but the precise application of these nano fungicides or nano pesticides have to be crop specific. They have to be agro ecosystem specific, because India is a huge country. There can be so many different responses from every part of the country. So as far as the nano fungicide is concerned, nano fertilizer, I already told that honestly speaking, it didn't have so much good impact. The antho was not so good because of the results we got, and that has been already also validated from PAU and IRA also. But nanofungicides and nanopesticides can really help as a part of the IPM if used very well on a very good precise manner with the different kind of agro ecosystems we have in India. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we have so many diverse agro ecosystems. Every ecosystem can have a different response to these nanochemicals. Any other question?
I just wanted to know, ma'am, whether that has an effect on the soil microbiota too. Is it having a positive effect or is it going in a negative direction?
Or the concentration of nano agrochemicals. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Swapnil,
Yes, ma'am.
I was saying that it has been seen that when we use the agrochemicals, we spray them, maximum of that is lost as an aerosol in the orchards. So if we go for the nano application, the amount of aerosol definitely will decrease, and definitely will have some positive effect on the soil microbiome.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other question?
If there are no questions, I would like to thank our esteemed guest on behalf of the organizing committee and NADCL. Thank you very much for joining and deliberating on a topic that is so much required, and soil is so much important. As you rightly said, it's the mother of all sciences.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.